were used. But anyway, God has been speaking to me in dreams for a very long time. But it wasn't until recently that I actually got down and studied it. And so I've started to understand my dreams better. But there are still some that I still don't understand. I don't know what it means exactly. And so a lot of those things are what I'm going to share with you. I think I know, but I don't have 100% confirmation from the Lord about it yet. But I made a list. It's 2 pages long of some dreams that I've had, and the first one was back in the year 2012, and it was a dream of a tsunami type wave and flood. There were also fires, and I and my daughter were trapped in a car when a tsunami wave came and kind of swept the car away. There was anarchy and maybe martial law type thing going on. I strongly believe that this was fulfilled in November of 2012 with Hurricane Sandy, because the news reports that I saw on the internet and the pictures that I saw from the aftermath of Hurricane Sandy was exactly like what I had dreamt about on June 28, 2012. Very, very similar. So if that dream was not prophetic about that event, then perhaps it's still to come. On October the 5th, 2012, I had a dream of men in military gear. They were fully armed and they were taking in people. There were paratroopers dropping in. And the people, I was with the people. We were in a concentration camp type setting, and it was actually where I was. It was actually an old Civil War museum. So I don't know if that is significant or not. I would think so because I remembered it. It stood out in my dream. Again, in August of 2012, this wasn't a dream. This was actually a listening prayer. My husband and I and my children had gone to a listening prayer event in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and we had never been to one before. We didn't know what to expect, but it was very good. It was very encouraging and just had such a sense of peace the whole time we were there. But in that listening prayer, some words were spoken over me, and at the time I had no clue what in the world it meant. But one of the ladies that was there, she said that she saw, the Lord gave her a picture of me as a flight attendant on an airplane. And I knew what everybody needed before they even asked me for it. And so I was giving the people the food that they needed and the blankets that they needed. And then there was a gentleman there who said that he heard something from the Lord, and he didn't understand. He did not at the time understand what it meant until he had heard some of the things the other people had said, and then he thought, okay, yeah, this is for her. But what he heard the Lord say he wanted to say to me was, fill the tank, fill the tank. Planes can't fly, cars can't drive, divers can't dive if you don't fill the tank. Okay? No clue. I've had no clue since 2012 what that could mean. I'm going to go on. Okay, April 8th, 2013, I had a dream of boys and girls in scout-like uniforms. You know, they were all in uniforms, and they had that sash going across their chest, so it made me think of Boy Scout, Girl Scouts. We were in a large warehouse setting, and there were Christmas trees inside this warehouse, and a train actually came inside the warehouse. In one of the cars of the train, there was a large zipper case, And inside the zipper case was a man's leg, just a leg. It still looked like it was alive. But it was very purple in color, and it was clothed in a camouflage. To this day, I still don't understand what that dream means. Also, in April of 2013, I was awakened from a nap by a loud boom and a shaking. And I asked my family, "Did you hear that? Did you feel that?" And they didn't. But I just saw today, I was trying to do some research. I actually just came across something on Facebook. Someone shared a post. I believe it was Ray Comfort shared a post about a video collage of people hearing strange booms and shakings, and there was no explanation for it. And so I started looking into that more, and I thought, well, why not see if there was anything in my area in April of 2013. So I did a search for it on the internet, and there were, not only in my area but across the nation, not necessarily on that exact day, but in that year, there were many reports of people hearing loud booms and feeling the earth shake, and there was no explanation for it. So I found that very interesting. Why my family didn't see or feel it that day, I don't know. I just believe that the Lord is trying to remind me to keep watch and to be ready. June 24, 2013, I had a dream with people using the N-word. We all know what the N-word is. And also in my dream, I was at a restaurant, and for some reason they were refusing to serve Asian women. This was back in June of 2013. And unfortunately, I think we're starting to see more and more of this type behavior in the real world, which grieves me, and I know it grieves the Lord. March 18, 2014. This was a hard dream. I did not like this dream. It bothers me off and on. But I had a dream of people in a large building with stadium-style seats. It was all concrete inside, but they were stadium-style, and they were being gassed. Yeah. My husband and I have recently started trying to keep the law of God and to keep the biblical feasts, because we believe strongly that He has revealed to us recently that we're supposed to do that as believers, as His children. We are supposed to keep the Father's appointed times and to keep the Father's and follow the Father's instructions. And the reason I bring that up here and now is because as I was recording these dreams to share with you, I started wondering where on God's calendar, where on the Hebrew calendar did some of these dates fall, and could it be significant? Well, would you believe this dream that I had about people being gassed? It was March 18th, 2014 when I recorded the dream. Well, March 15 through 16 of that year on the Hebrew calendar was Purim. And that is when Jewish people celebrate the account that was recorded in the book of Esther, where God used the Queen Esther to save the Israelites and the Jewish people from being exterminated by evil Haman. So even though in my dream I didn't think that the people there were Jews who were gassed before, in World War II, it was Jewish people. And of course, when I woke up from the dream, that's what I thought about, the gas chambers. And so I thought, well, this could be possibly significant, that I dreamt this around the time of Purim of that year. Okay, bear with me. I know I'm going longer than I normally do, but I have a lot to share with you. And excuse me. May 28, 2014. I had a dream / vision, and I say vision because I saw a sign, like a street sign, and all that it said on it, and it was in all capital letters, was San Francisco Bay. I don't know. I know that they have been experiencing, I think, some drought issues out that way, but I don't know. October 8, 2014. I had a dream of an erupting volcano. In the dream, I was Jewish. Now, this is back before my husband and I started trying to keep the biblical feast, so I wasn't in this mindset. I'm not, and by the way, I'm not trying to be Jewish because I'm not Jewish. I'm Caucasian, but I am part of Israel. I've been grafted in as a believer in Jesus Christ. But in this dream of the erupting volcano, I was Jewish. And a man and I were trying to run for shelter. There was a building there that was built, and it was supposed to be able to sustain a volcano. So we were running to that shelter. And I had this dream on the night of a blood moon that happened in October of 2014. But also, yeah, that's right. That's what I was going to share with you. That was on a blood moon night. This was during Sukkot of 2014, the Feast of Tabernacles, I believe it is. I'm still learning all of this myself. Okay, another one, November 21st, 2014. And I've shared this one. I know I've shared it in a previous video, but it was after, or it was the night before I read about the flood during Noah's time. But it was a dream of a major flood like in the days of Noah. But the boat that I was in, and I was by myself, landed safely in a ravine. And I know I shared that and the interpretation of that one. But again, if you read in the Word, it talks about how in the end days it will be as in the days of Noah. And it was just right there in Matthew 24, 37. As it was in the days of Noah, so will it be at the coming of the Son of Man. So I tend to believe that the dream that I had there was also a reminder of that. November 26, 2014. I had a dream or vision. Again, I say it was a vision because it was just one scene, and it was 7 angels in a row, and they were bright blue. They were, I think, sitting at a bar, like at a countertop. I don't know if that has any significance to it or not. I don't know. I still don't understand this, but the number 7 is very significant to God, and I know that in the book of Revelation that 7 angels are mentioned. So I believe that's significant. I just don't know the complete significance of it. Okay, on January 5th, 2015, so that's this year, I heard in my spirit very, very early in the morning, before the sun came up. And at the time I heard it, I knew I should wake up and write it down. I knew it was important. But it was so significant that I thought, well, there's no way I'll forget what I just heard. So I'll just wait until my alarm goes off and then I'll write it down. I should have gotten up and written it down because I didn't remember all of it when I did wake up. The only part that I remember, and again, I just heard this in my spirit. It wasn't accompanied with any dream or pictures or anything, but this is what I heard. You will go, or maybe it said, or you will be taken a year before. That's all I remember. So I'm like, a year before what? What was it that I heard? And I have asked God to tell me the rest of it, but so far He hasn't. And I don't know if it's you as in me singular or if it's you, a group of people. I don't know. The Lord hasn't seen fit to divulge anything other than that, and it's probably because of my disobedience and my laziness of not wanting to get up right then and write it down. Okay, and then on January 21st of 2015, I had a dream and I saw children watching Sesame Street. And I knew when I saw them watching, I knew that they were being indoctrinated. And then Count Dracula came on, and I knew, and this is what I heard when I saw Count Dracula come on, the countdown has started. Okay, February 4th, 2015, I had a dream of ISIS being in the workplace. In the dream, it was a very short dream, but it was very disturbing to me. In the dream, I had received the news that my mother-in-law had been taken captive by ISIS, and all I could do in the dream was just weep and weep and weep. But in the dream, I was at my old workplace, and so that's why I believe that was just God showing me that ISIS is here. ISIS is in my workplace. And where do I work? I live in America. This ISIS is here. We just haven't seen it full force yet. February 25th, 2015. And I'll be honest with you, this dream is not one that I really look forward to sharing with you. I have shared it with a few close friends and asked them to pray with me about it because I really want to understand what it means. Okay, so let me just share it with you. I was a spectator. I saw, and I don't know if I was there in person or if I was seeing it on TV, but I saw Barack Obama on a stage before a large crowd. And I saw him from the side. And in this dream, he had two horns. They were like ram's horns or lamb horns, I don't know, but I had the impression that they weren't fully grown yet. I don't know if that's significant or not. But here's the thing that is significant, and I still don't understand it. I think I might, but I'm not sure, and I probably won't know until after the fact. But because I saw him from the side, not only did he have the two horns in the front, but there was a third horn in the back. And it was flat on the top, and I don't know if that means it was just a flat horn or if it had been broken off. I don't know. Now, I know that Daniel talks a great deal about a ram and about horns and the little horn and so forth. Since I've put this out there, I'll just go ahead and tell you what I think that third horn represents. But again, I don't know, and I could be wrong. But I think that third horn that was in the back, behind the other two, I think that is symbolic of a third term, of Obama in the back of his mind wanting a third term. I don't know. Time will tell. But that dream has not left me at all. And there are a lot of people out there who have had dreams about President Obama, and to be honest with you, none of them are good. And then finally, on May 1st, very recently here, 2015, I heard in my spirit while I was asleep, the finger of God is stirring up his wrath. So, that was not long ago at all. And in fact, ever since I heard that, I've just tried to be more mindful of what I need to be doing. How does God want me to be living? what does God want me to share with people? Because the days are evil, that's evident. That is so clearly seen on a daily basis, that the days are evil. The love of many has grown cold. Brothers turning against brother, nation against nation. Everything that Jesus said was going to happen is happening. Yes, it's been happening over times past, but it's happening more and more frequently, and it's happening on greater, larger scales. So all of these dreams that the Lord has given me concerning martial law and volcanoes, tsunamis, I just believe that it's the Lord preparing me for what's coming. And we are encouraged over and over in the Word to be bold, to take courage, to not be afraid. And I'm not afraid for myself. I'm afraid for those who aren't listening, who aren't paying attention. And the Lord, remember when I shared, if you watched the video about Genesis chapter 1, the very first book of the Bible, in the beginning, God said that He created the sun and the moon and the stars to be signs. He's showing us an upcoming, this year is the last blood moon. There have been 4 in a row. There were 2 last year and there are 2 this year. And the last one coming up is September. And there are a lot of godly people out there who are trying to sound the call about this is significant. It falls on a biblical feast. This blood moon does. When the blood will turn red. Now let's go. I said I was going to